A very good Thursday evening to you. Well, big stakes deserve a big stage, and Georgia Tech will have that and then some on Saturday. A sold-out senior night under the lights and a chance to clinch a spot in the ACC Championship game. We know Bobby Dodd Stadium at Hyundai Field will be at full volume this Saturday at 7 in the ACC finale versus Pittsburgh. Tech, of course, earned that opportunity after a down-to-the-wire win at BC last week, and we'll tackle all of that over the next 60 minutes on a brand-new edition of the Brent Key Coaches Show, driven by Hyundai. As we welcome you in live tonight from new Realm Brewing on the east side beltline of Atlanta. My name is Andy Demetra. Full 60 minutes of Georgia Tech football talk straight ahead with the man to my left, head coach Brent Key. And Brent, the question everybody is dying to know the answer to.
Will we play better on defense this week?
I was going to ask, how are you doing tonight? Because you do like to thicken the suspense.
I just want to get it out. Go ahead and get it out of the way.
Go straight to the top of the talking points. But how are you doing tonight?
Good. Great. Wow.
Act like I'm surprised to hear that you're doing well. Well, why wouldn't you be? You know, look, you have reason to feel great because you guys will be back at home, Bobby Dodd Stadium. They just announced earlier today another sellout, third home game this year of 50,000 plus.
That's the thing I'm going to do tonight. I'm just going to cut you off the whole time.
Just undercut me all 60 minutes?
Just cut off and just try to guess what you're going to say.
That's great. That'll make for a really smooth hour. Oh, absolutely. Just flowing between us. But no, great news. Sold out, and you know that all of those fans will throw their energy and their support behind your guys as they bid for a win to finish off ACC play. We know it won't come easy. Pittsburgh at a record of 7-3, but you will have that home crowd roaring you guys on. And it's interesting how the world works because we rewind to October 1st, 2022. That was your first game as interim coach, and you faced Pittsburgh on the road. You upset the Panthers, and then to bring it up to present day, here you are facing Pittsburgh for the first time since that night with a chance to take your team to the ACC Championship Game. Knowing how much of your heart and soul you have put into this program over the last 3+ years, what does this opportunity mean to you and to your team once Tommy's Leather at 7 o'clock on Saturday?
Yeah, it means a lot to everybody. It means a lot to the fans. It means a lot to the alumni, the students on campus. I mean, it's a representation of everybody at Georgia Tech. And but the most important are the seniors. You know, the seniors on the team, the seniors that are playing their final game at Bobby Dodd. You know, there's 26 of them, but there's also, I think it was, 11 that have been here from the start. That came here as freshmen, have matriculated through. There's 14 of them that have been here since my first year as the head coach. But those 11 guys that have really been through it all, that were there in Pittsburgh in 2022.
Yeah, from a program that was moribund at the time to now competing for a college football playoff spot, ACC Championship berth. They've been with you every step of the way. I know you'll enjoy sharing those moments with all 26 of the seniors.
I want done.
Okay, I thought
you cut me off. Was that payback?
Yeah, this is when I remember it's the Brent Key Show, not the Andy Demetra Show. So go continue, please.
I wonder what that is. I mean, how many spam do you get a day?
Oh, got to be like a dozen at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either that or it's just random people hitting me up for tickets and I tell them, nope, we're sold out. Sorry, try again.
We are.
We are definitely sold out.
And it's going to stay that way. It's
yes,
going to continue.
It absolutely will.
Forever and ever and ever.
I like that. Continue. Yes, the seniors.
I forgot. No. No, the seniors, they mean so much. This is the first year that we didn't have a leadership committee on team per se, where it was a collection of sophomores, juniors, seniors. It was all the seniors. It's been all the seniors because they provided such great leadership. They've been through it. They've some of them have been here for since June. Some of them have been here for 5 years, 6 years, and then there's the one. There's Omar, Brett, and Haynes who came in right at the very beginning as transfers when I got here that winter. So. Love the seniors, great collection of personalities, players, students, and they represent all of us very well.
Yeah, they've put so much sacrifice and sweat equity into this program, and I know that you Georgia Tech fans will give them the send-off they deserve on Saturday night versus Pittsburgh. You've said this is a play-in game, for not only for the ACC Championship, but in many respects a play-in for postseason aspirations in the college football playoff. And I know there's a school of thought among coaches where you don't want to let a game become bigger than it is. Why then did you want to frame it like that to your players this week? That this is a true play-in game?
Well, because it is. I mean, it is a big game. Every game, when you get into November and you're in the position we're in, every game is bigger than the game before. Every game is the biggest game of the season. This is the biggest game of the season. Look, I mean, we have smart kids most of the time, but what am I going to tell them? It's the next game. It's another game. Yeah, it is. Well, we've had 10 opportunities within 12 weeks, and then counting preseason to master what our process is, right? To know what the expectation is in practice every week, right? All culminating to have this opportunity, to play for a conference championship, and then ultimately the big picture of playing in the playoffs. So yeah, it's a huge game. It's a big game, right? And I'm not gonna downsize that at all.
And I know you also have a really mature locker room that is going to handle that messaging the right way. You will head into Saturday night now with the number 1 total offense in the nation, 496 point yards per game. You also lead the nation in yards per play. Buster Faulkner has been drawing them up in the dirt. How has this offense gotten better and better as the season has gone on? And if you're watching on the video feed, you're holding up that Haynes for Heisman T-shirt, available for purchase at Bobby Dodd Stadium at Hyundai Field. I know that number 10 probably is responsible for a lot of that, but again, this was a pretty potent offense to begin with, and it's only gotten more dynamic, more explosive as the weeks have gone on. Now number 1 in the nation in total offense. Why has this offense just seemed to get more and more weaponized?
At the end of the day, we have to play complementary football. Right? It's all 3 phases being able to complement each other to get the ultimate goal at the end of the game, and that's a win. We've been able to accomplish that all but one time this year, and it's how they play together. And early in the season, you want to be able to, grind it out and be able to establish the run on people, right? But then as you really get to know your team, right, both sides have really kind of settled in, and all three phases have settled in, and then you start to open it up more. But at the end of the day, we want to control the tempo of the game, right? That doesn't mean control the clock, right? There's times you control the clock. There's times you don't. But last Saturday was a very, very different field than 2 weeks before that, where I never felt like we didn't have control of the game last Saturday. And some people control it through X, Y, Z. All right, we control it really on the tempo of the offense, because now that helps the defense. It helps the special teams. And I'll tell you guys what now. Our punter, you talk about being able to call a game differently. When you have a punter, that when you have 4th and 7 on the 37-yard line, I mean, you're talking now, what was that, 55-yard field goal, right, which is going to be hard, especially early in the game, right? Most guys, when they go to punt there, that thing's going to be a touchback, and it's a net of really nothing. To have a punter that can put the ball from the 37 on the 1-yard line, I mean, that changes the whole dynamic of how you play the football game and how you control the tempo of the game and control the vertical field position of the game. So it truly is all 3 phases.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Marshall Nichols, because not only is he among the ACC leaders in net punting, but boy, his ability to stick those inside the 20, like on that first series where Will Kiker downed it at the 1, and sort of dictating the terms there with his leg. Although you've kept that leg holstered maybe more than he anticipated this year. That's what happens when you're number 1 in the nation in total offense. Haynes King, fresh off his 5th ACC Quarterback of the Week award this season, 9th of his career. He leads the nation now in total offense, 340.7 yards per game. Boy, what emotions do you think will be going through you, Coach, when you see him and his family on the field for Senior Day?
None.
I mean, no, I'm sure he will be very emotionless. I don't know if the same can be said for his head coach.
No, it's an emotional weekend, right? It's an emotional weekend because of the game. It's an emotional weekend because of the seniors. All of those things tie into it. So there's going to be a lot of emotion fueling us. When we have to turning emotion into energy, which you've heard me say that a lot. Turning emotion into energy, that's a positive for us, and that's what he'll do. That's what everyone will do.
Haynes King has just been rewriting the record books, it seems, on a weekly basis. He'll get his first crack of his career against the Panthers again. Tomies Leather, 7 o'clock from Bobby Dodd Stadium at Hyundai Field in a little more than 48 hours. We got to hit our first break. We are live tonight at New Realm Brewing Company, 550 Somerset Terrace Northeast, on the east side belt line of Atlanta, and a brand new edition of the Brent Key Coaches Show driven by Hyundai. We're back after this on the Georgia Tech Sports Network. Yeah, I can't wait to see you on Saturday night. One last time at Bobby Dodd Stadium at Hyundai Field. Senior night for your Yellow Jackets in a showdown with 7-3 Pittsburgh, fresh off a loss at home to Notre Dame. But prior to that, a 5-game win streak. They come in at a record of 7-3. Our network airtime 5 o'clock, and then kickoff 7 on the Georgia Tech Sports Network. He's Brent Key. I'm Andy Demetra.
And he's Matt Guba.
Yeah, you're visiting with some of your friends back there here at New Realm Brewing Company.
Sir, yes, sir.
My gosh, what's gotten into you tonight?
I don't know.
That is way more dignity than I deserve in that answer.
Yes, sir.
But we talked about this being a sellout crowd on Saturday, and that gives Georgia Tech fans an opportunity to make an amazing impact in the Michael Eisenhower Tour Drive. It's been a tradition out at Georgia Tech for going on 25 years.
Since 2001, right?
Yeah, and you knew Michael Eisenhower, right, yes. When you guys were at Georgia Tech together. Mm-hmm. And so it's a great way to honor his legacy. And when you got a sellout crowd, boy, let's make sure all of those toy boxes are full by the time the ball is even on the tee before kickoff, because just an opportunity to really show what makes Georgia Tech athletics so special with the Michael Eisenhower Toy Drive.
Is Simmet giving toys away?
He should.
Simmet.
He's out there with Kevin Cohn.
Yeah, Simmet. Are you donating right now?
One of your fearless lieutenants here.
Yes,
we got the toy donation boxes here at New Realm Brewing Company. But again, if you're listening to this,
I didn't know to bring a toy. Will you take what else? What else do we take here, Kevin?
Venmo? I don't know.
Like Venmo, Kevin? No way.
You don't trust Kevin with it?
Not through Venmo. I trust him.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's got to be just go do a Google search for a toy store nearby. But we'll make sure those boxes get filled up, though, on Saturday night. So if you are going to the game, make sure you bring a toy to donate to the Michael Eisenhower Toy Drive, and let's show again what makes Georgia Tech fans so special.
Kevin, come here.
Kevin Cohn, everybody.
Yeah.
Former Yellow Jacket.
Let Kevin tell everybody exactly what it's for. All right.
That's a great idea.
And because this is a big deal. Yeah, there you go, Kevin. Just tell them what it goes for, what we do with this.
Got an additional headset. Hi, welcome to the Brent Key Coaches Show. Please say your name and where you're from.
Kevin Cohn.
Hello, my name is Kevin Cohn.
Decatur.
I am from Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Not Decatur.
Decatur, Georgia.
DeKalb County's finest. Okay, so, Kevin, you're overseeing the Michael Eisenhower Toy Drive. For those who don't know, what is the Michael Eisenhower Toy Drive?
Yeah, so 25 years ago, one of our student athletes, Michael Eisenhower, started an initiative right after 9/11. He wanted to collect toys that he would give to families affected by 9/11. Unfortunately, a year after, Michael passed away with a rare form of cancer. Our Student Athlete Advisory Board basically took this mission and carried it for 25 years. So all toys, all financial contributions go to the Atlanta Children's Day Shelter, and it helps families around the holidays who are homeless in the metro Atlanta area. So amazing event.
Oh, amazing. And Georgia Tech fans, you guys are so generous each and every year. So for those people who are coming to Bobby Dodd Stadium at Hyundai Field on Saturday, bringing their toys to donate, where can they drop those off? You're going to have boxes stationed around the entrances?
So we will be at almost every station, every gate. So we'll be at Gate 10, Gate 1, Gate 4, 5, Gate 8. You'll see student athletes with signs very similar to this. And we will be running around collecting toys, collecting donations.
So how do we get it out that everybody knows? I've seen it on social media or being announced. We need everybody that's coming to this game, right, to bring some toy, to bring something to help with this, because this is without our children in this world and the kids in this world, all right, there is no future. Right, to be able to take care of kids and help out kids in these times, especially times in families in need, is such a special thing to be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make this the biggest Michael Eisenhower Toy Drive ever.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
What is the biggest ever? Like, what is there? Like, do you chart this every year? And
so the past few years, we've collected over 1,000 toys, and we've collected close to $10,000. So that's been pretty much the cap right there. This year, we're looking to double that.
Oh, we could double that easily, don't you think, guys?
I think so.
Let's go.
I think so.
I love it. And, just a reminder, peer pressure works. So if you're bringing a toy and then maybe somebody who's coming with you to the game hasn't yet committed yet or is on the fence, I'm just saying peer pressure works in this situation.
So what if they don't have a toy with them? Can they do something else?
They can. So if you don't have a toy with you, you forgot, you left it in the car, you can mail that toy to Georgia Tech, address it to anyone on staff, and we'll make sure that it gets to the right place.
What if they have cash?
If you have cash, then we will. Our student athletes cannot accept cash. We will. We ask that you give the cash to the ticket office, but we have a QR code. We have a link, so you can make a contribution right on spot.
That's awesome. Yeah, so just make sure you find the student athletes outside the gates here before kickoff. And if you don't have a toy to donate, hit that QR code. Make sure you donate. Make sure you have your presence felt for the toy drive.
It's going to be incredible.
Awesome.
I don't have time to go get toys, but I can help you out the other way.
Wow. You're amazing.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
You are.
Oh, my God.
I wish I could smile like you all the time. I think it's fake half the time, but it's not. It's you.
It's me.
Don't need the lights on. Just put Kevin Cohn in the building.
Appreciate
Kevin
you,
Cohn, everybody.
Appreciate
Give him a round of applause. Him and his tireless staff working here on behalf of the Michael Eisenhower Toy Drive here at New Realm Brewing Company tonight. Keep on flashing those signs. Appreciate the little impromptu interview there with Kevin, Brent.
Yeah, well, Michael was we were in school together. I was actually on the student athlete advisory board at the time, and tragedy, what happened, but the legacy to be able to leave that he has left, and now that's still going for 25 years is awesome.
Yeah,
so cool.
Let's make this just an unforgettable holiday season for some families and some kids who truly deserve it, and let's make that the start of what will be a special night this Saturday at Bobby Dodd Stadium at Hyundai Field. Got to hit our next time out. We're continuing to count you down to Georgia Tech versus Pittsburgh, the ACC finale, the Bobby Dodd Stadium finale for 2025. Georgia Tech, by the way, winners of 10 straight at Bobby Dodd Stadium at Hyundai Field. Lakes make it 11 on Saturday versus the Panthers. Time to hit a timeout. We're back after this on the Brent Key Coaches Show, driven by Hyundai on the Georgia Tech Sports Network. Hard to believe the home finale at Bobby Dodd Stadium at Hyundai Field is here, 7 o'clock on Saturday. Georgia Tech and Pittsburgh as the Yellow Jackets bid to clinch their spot in the ACC Championship Game in Charlotte. It'll take 60 physical minutes against a Pitt team that has some impressive wins. Had a 5-game win streak snap last Saturday. During that win streak, they were averaging 40 points and 445 yards of offense per game. We'll settle the score at 7 o'clock on Saturday as we continue the conversation on the Brent Key Coaches Show, driven by Hyundai, live at New Realm Brewing on the East Side Beltline. He's Brent Key. I'm Andy Demetra. And, Coach, let's talk a little bit more about this defense. And I know it's been a bumpy last couple of games for your guys. You can't also ignore the fact that at home games this year, your defense is allowing 18.6 points and 356 yards per game. So they have turned things up when they're protecting the home turf. What is that line that you needed to find this week between coaching those guys hard and delivering some hard truths, but also lifting their confidence back up? Because you had said there have been some times where the defense has had to carry the offense for some stretches, and you know that is still the type of defense that is in those guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, it's been like a soul-searching mission, because you can look, you look at scheme, you look at execution, you look at all these different things. At the end of the day, you got to have the confidence to go out and do it, and that's all across the board, And look, if we hadn't had opportunities of playing good defense throughout the season and shown improvements and things in situational ball and all that, it'd be one thing, but we have. So, everything's addressed: fundamentals, techniques, schematics. Personnel, from top to bottom. So, but you don't want to make tweaks and adjustments, and then it, throws you off of something you've been doing. But if it hadn't been working, what is insanity is to do the same thing over and over. So, we made some tweaks and some adjustments on some things that we felt was, going to help us improve in some of the things we're doing. And that's what it is. Mm-hmm. So I'll leave it at that.
All right. What have been some of the issues with maybe the misfits up front and guys now filling their gap and allowing guys to get to that second level? Anything you guys have diagnosed that has creeped up here lately?
Do you see me yawning?
I did see it. Yeah, that's a common reaction when I ask a question, here or elsewhere.
Well, it's nothing to do with your boredom. I mean,
okay.
That's not right. Big my boredom with you, but I'm kidding. This is I don't. This is us. So
you seemed a little somnambulant there a moment ago.
An ambulance?
There you go. You probably wanted one.
Yeah, we play defense.
At the end of the game versus Boston College.
We play defense like that again. We're going to need several ambulances.
There you go. We'll have the EMTs on standby. Yeah. Where were we again? Oh, yeah, the Misfits. The
Misfits.
Yeah, just missed fits. Yeah, missed gaps. Now, they're a very good group. I'm sure they're in your playlist.
They're not, but I'll listen to them on the way home.
Okay, there you go. Pull that up on Spotify. What about the missed fits up front? Maybe some of those misalignments that are causing running backs to hit creases and get big chunk plays on.
Yeah, there were 3 explosive runs that were misfits. And look, 90% of what happens on defense, it all happens before the snap. It's alignment. It's reading, he's getting the right position. It's so much just being in the right space. And, you set the front the wrong way one time and you've got gashes. But, look, when you sit there and say it's front, it's the fits, it's this, that. At the end of the day, all right, defenders have to strike blockers and get off of blocks and make plays, right? And they got to keep their eyes in the right spots and clean up the pre-snap things. Whether you simplify things or make it more conducive to the player. At the end of the day, we got to produce better.
It seems like teams are picking on your guys a bit on those crossing routes. Have there been communication issues in passing those off? What have you seen on the film?
It was all a setup for this weekend. We wanted to make sure the last 2 weeks everybody just so we just sucker them in.
Nothing better than lulling teams to a false sense of security.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
But it has to be frustrating.
Yes, it's frustrating. Yeah. Yes, it's extremely frustrating. Yeah.
But my point being,
is it frustrating? All right, and I'm the head coach. It's on me. It's my fault. All right, it's my fault. It's on me. I'm responsible. All right, and damn it, I'm going to fix it. Next question.
That'll get a good round of applause. I like that. And you know what? That intensity you will see once Tone beats leather on Saturday. I can promise you that. The seniors, 26 of them. You all right?
Did I say that?
Yeah. You might have blown the speakers out, but it was worth it.
Well, you kept asking.
I know. Well, journalistic duty sometimes compels me.
Ambulance.
An ambulance. Yeah, I might need the ambulance if I keep asking questions about the defense.
No, you can
call somebody off the bullpen.
That's I mean, that's what you're supposed to.
You did give your Defensive Player of the Game award to Jai Gilmore. So Jai had to be doing some things well that you graded against BC. What was it about Jai's performance?
He stopped a pass across the middle.
Hey.
He didn't misfit something.
There you go. Check those boxes.
Yeah. He was aligned in the right spot.
Mm-hmm. What was nice to see, though, was the return of Amari Harvey. And he came flying in on that corner blitz in a 3rd down and 1, swiped at the ball carrier, stopped him shy of the line to gain, forced Boston College to punt. And it is remarkable that we saw Amari Harvey suit up and come on that field versus Boston College 4 weeks after a severe ankle injury against Virginia Tech on October 11th. Amari is not only just his physical ball skills, but it's the intangibles that he brings to that defense. You want that kind of ferocious live wire defender, and Amari personifies that. He's another one of those seniors that you'll be honoring before the game. What does having Amari back mean to this defense? Maybe just more from an intangible standpoint than anything.
So in the game, Amari was cleared last week, and just because you're cleared medically doesn't mean you're ready to totally play. All right, so we went into the game, and it was, to us, even though he's medically cleared, I'm never going to put him in any position to if they're not mentally ready to go after an injury like that, right? So going into the game, we're thinking, okay, if we can get 10 to 15 snaps out of him, kind of get him in the role. And early on in the game, we were in man coverage one time. They were in a tight spot, and he zoned it off, and he's supposed to stay man with him, and gave up a low cross or a drag. But then at halftime, there were some volcanoes erupted at halftime, and after that, we got on the sideline, and Amari came up to me and said, "Coach, put me in the game. I'm playing the whole game. I want to change this thing. I want to change the game." And when you got a senior that says that, and they're going to go play that way, look, such a credit to him and the mental toughness that he has and ability to overcome those things. I mean, I can't say enough good things about Amari right now.
And some of the comments you've made about Amari, just his maturity, his growth as a person, it seems like you have as much admiration for how he's grown off the field as how he's grown as a defensive back.
Well, that's why he's grown on the field, is his growth off the field. Understanding that it is about being the best player you can be individually within a team. And the emotional part of it, being able to set that aside for what's the best for the team. And in turn, he's realizing that also is what's best for him. And just been here a long time and been through a lot of ups and downs together, and super proud of him.
I wrote about Amari on my Inside the Chalk column. It's live down ramblingwreck.com, and he told me a great story. He was only a few months into his time at Georgia Tech when you got elevated to interim coach, and he said, I never really had talked with Brent when he got elevated to interim because, the offensive line coach and the defensive backs, they don't often mingle. But he said, yeah, I just remember Brand just chewing out the offensive lineman. I'm thinking, man, this guy is crazy. But then by the end of that first meeting, he's like, yeah, I want to play for this guy. And he said that week versus Pittsburgh, again, last time you guys played Pittsburgh, you put him on 3 of your core 4 special teams units. And he just felt so appreciative of that belief that you showed him. And ever since then, he's been a mainstay not only on special teams, but on the back end there at DB and – just knowing how to channel his energy and his intensity in the right way to be the best version of himself. He's one of those guys, it seems like, is just why you get into coaching.
And that's a big part of being a head coach is to recognize guys that have talent, right? And, okay, well, why are they not playing? Is it something that we can work around? Is it something we can fix? All right? Is it something that we can work on emotionally or psychologically or the mindset? Or is it just it can't get done? Well, you go out and you find, okay, he's a 6 foot, 190-pound corner that can run and will strike you. Why is he not playing? So right away it's okay. And if anybody remembers back then, we had some severe work we had to do on our special teams to get them right. And so you pour into those guys and give them everything, and hopefully they turn out to be better versions of themselves. Well, they say lions need lion tamers too.
That's true, yeah. Amari, a.k.a. Saucy, although he told me he got that nickname for playing wide receiver in middle school, not by playing defensive back.
I did not know that.
You did. He told me this, nor did I. But he told me.
Yeah, saucy.
I'm guessing you never called him saucy in his 4 years here.
No, I have not used the word saucy.
Have you called anybody by their nickname other than maybe Keelan Rutledge? You called him Red.
Red.
Anybody else, especially if it's like a self-appointed nickname, you just called them all by their first name?
I can't. What are some other nicknames?
I'll have to think about that. I mean, sometimes they're just like, in their Instagram bio, and I can't imagine you're doing a lot of scrolling there.
No, somebody told me DeQuan White had a nickname, and I was like, who? Not DeQuan. I know who DeQuan is.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait a second.
I will never call him that.
Yeah, no, that's probably for the best. You'd much rather call out Daquan for getting some pass breakups and maybe dislodging some footballs, and he'll be proud of that secondary against a very good Pitt passing game that has sort of turned a new page after they installed their true freshman Mason Heinschel as quarterback. And you look around, he might be the best true freshman quarterback, if not in the Power 4, in all of the FBS. How is their offense sort of taken to a new level ever since they moved Heinschel into the starting role?
He's got such command as a quarterback. He can deliver the ball downfield. He can make people miss, avoid rush, scramble in the pocket. But still look to throw. He's got really good arm talent. He's a big kid. And just great command for being a true freshman behind center. And they have totally morphed into this explosive passing game offense, which we'll be ready for.
Yeah, and they utilize their running backs in pass-catching situations a lot. Great challenge for your Yellow Jackets. They'll be up for it, and they know that they will have 50,000 plus feeding them energy at Bobby Dodd Stadium at Hyundai Field this Saturday. Georgia Tech versus Pitt, 7 o'clock, Tome East Leather. Time to hit another timeout. Back for more of the Brent Key Coaches Show, driven by Hyundai, right here on the Georgia Tech Sports Network. He's Brent Key. I'm Andy Demetru. Welcome you back to another edition of the Brent Key Coaches Show, driven by Hyundai. We're live once again from our friends at New Realm Brewing Company on the east side Beltline of Atlanta, getting you set for Tome East Leather, your Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, and the Pitt Panthers, 7 o'clock under the lights at Bobby Dodd Stadium at Hyundai Field, where Georgia Tech will look to extend a 10-game home field win streak. And we're about to get preempted on your own radio show, Brent, because we got the projection screens up on SportsCenter, and your quarterback, Haynes King, will be joining SportsCenter here in a couple of minutes.
Cool.
Yeah. I'll tell you what.
Was that a statement question?
It was a statement-ish question. It's a statement that ends like a question that kind of throws you off.
You need to create a big word that nobody understands that actually means that.
I'll just make up a word, but say it with such conviction that people will think it's an actual word.
Just send me a graph.
Like that. Yeah, exactly. No?
I went to Tech.
I appreciate, if nothing else, I feel like your vocabulary has expanded since the beginning of the season on this show. So I feel like if there's one public service I've given, it's maybe that.
What words?
I mean, we can go through the list if you'd like.
More than, 5 letters?
Yeah, absolutely. 5, at the bare minimum, 5.
So
we're going long, 40 points on Scrabble.
So my mom was a school teacher her whole life. It drives her crazy that I cannot spell I mean, I don't live in a world of like circles and round. I'm like, it is square, rectangle. Like, give me angles. Like, give me numbers. Like, I can do that all day long. Spell, use words. Nah.
Now, well, you're an offensive lineman.
Whoa. Time out.
That is not a commentary.
Okay, little man.
That is not a commentary.
You really want that ambulance to come, don't you?
What's that? I mean, we might have it on standby outside as far as we know. No, I bring that up because you're an offensive lineman, and, offensive linemen, it's all about leverage and angles, and so that suits your sensibilities. That's where I was going with it, Brent.
I was talking about more like financial numbers and accounting and, like, I'm trying to make myself be smart.
Yeah, well, numbers don't lie, and I'll tell you, the numbers look pretty good when your team is 9-1 and an ACC win away from going to Charlotte. I wasn't a math major, but I know that.
Is that a question?
It's a statement that asks like a question. I'll tell you what, we're getting ready to see Haynes King on the projection screens here. We got to get some closed captioning up here, by the way.
No, let's keep going.
Haynes, he's a guy who would much rather give the microphone and the spotlight to somebody else. And even when he's on the microphone, he's deflecting praise at every opportunity and upselling his teammates. He is a guy who, folks, has had so many media requests, not just locally but nationally, and he has handled that all with so much poise and so much grace this year. I know he's kind of stepping out of his comfort zone a little bit to do that. There is an expectation as a quarterback that you're going to be asked to do those things, but boy, he has just handled it like a champ this fall, and I'm glad that the nation is now getting to know just what a special player in person Haynes King is.
He is. None of it's fake. None of it is fake. I mean, it's who he is. He sounds like a coach because he is a coach on the field. I mean, I've been around a lot of great quarterbacks in my career, from being a player to coach, but I've never been around anyone like him that can affect that many people on a team in a positive way, in all different ways, whether it's bringing them in, taking them to dinner, or jumping them on the field, like getting after them. I mean, whatever way it is, he has a way of affecting others. I mean, did you see that play in the game, Malik's touchdown?
Oh, yeah.
Where Haynes throws the ball, the little screen to Malik, and then Haynes actually finishes in the end zone like almost the exact same time Malik does. He is sprinting down the field like I've never seen anybody sprint past everybody on both teams.
Well, he's got 14 rushing touchdowns, so we know he's got some top-end speed, but that was so cool to see. I mean, he was trying to race Malik into the end zone.
He was trying to catch him.
That was great.
He was trying to catch him. And
a lot of quarterbacks will just sit there in the pocket after that screen pass and admire their work. But no, Haynes King was going downfield, looking to block somebody and make sure that Malik found the end zone. And that was really good to see because Malik had been hampered by injury. He was full strength, full go versus Boston College, and that 71-yard touchdown was a career long for him. He was the first commitment of his recruiting class. He's been here all 5 years. His first catches as a Yellow Jacket was the last time Tech played Pitt at home back in 2021. He's got so much personality and so much production. What has made Malik such a fun player to have in your program?
Well, he's like the Energizer Bunny now. He's plays so much bigger than he is. He's fun to be around. I mean, he makes plays. Just his love for the place. And the cool thing about Malik is, Malik's from South Florida. Right? Malik understands what graduating from Georgia Tech is going to do for his life. He understands that, and he values that, and he puts that as a high priority because he knows it's going to impact him for the rest of his life, but also how happy it's going to make his parents.
He'll be our pregame guest on the Ramblin' Wreck kickoff show on Saturday. And now that you have Malik Rutherford back healthy, you pair him with Eric Rivers, who had a phenomenal game versus Boston College, and then Jordan Allen, who took that jet sweep for the touchdown to put you guys back in front. Boy, that is a lot of speed that Buster can play with now offensively. There are only so many receivers that you can split out on a given play, but does that give Buster some ideas about just having a pure speed package with Eric, Jordan, Malik out there, and maybe Jamal in the backfield? And, good luck defense is trying to tame those guys.
Yeah, and the one you didn't mention was Isaiah.
Yeah.
I mean, he is by nature of what we do offensively, we spread the ball around and get touches to everybody, right? Each play is designed with a different intent, right? And then in the passing game, obviously it can only go to one person. The read might not take you there, the coverage, the pressure, whatever it is. So, Isaiah didn't get as many touches last week, but talk about a complete football player and the receivers. I mean, you got 6'4", 215 out on the edge. You got the guys inside that can run. You got Eric on the other side, and All those guys. I think we have 15 guys or something that have multiple catches and over 100 yards on the season. So it makes you hard to defend. It really does. When you go inline to inline, sideline to sideline, it really makes you super hard to defend.
And that's why Georgia Tech is number 1 in the nation in yards per play and in total offense. Jamal Haynes got that touchdown. Boy, you could just see the relief wash over him when he crossed the goal line in that fourth quarter. First touchdown he had since the Clemson game. Jamal was another one of those guys who's been with you almost from day one. He was a slot receiver. No offensive snaps his first 2 seasons. You transform him into a running back, and he becomes 2-time All-ACC and still very much a threat every time the ball's in his hands. What kind of fondness will you have for Jamal, and how will you remember the impact he's had on your program? There you go. I think we're getting the B-roll of Haynes King as they prep for his interview here on SportsCenter.
Yeah, I've seen those plays.
Those are the good plays.
Yeah.
Just ripping them downfield there.
That was a good catch.
Yeah, Eric Rivers over the shoulder to set you guys up, first and goal. Yeah, there's Kevin Nagandi talking with Haynes King. I'm sure they'll post that on social media and all the channels afterwards, but he'll always speak glowingly of your program. And, boy, whenever you have the law office of Haynes and Haynes in that backfield, Haynes King and Jamal Haynes, that's a lot of speed and a lot of explosiveness.
I see what you're doing. You're getting back to Jamal. I hadn't forgot.
Professional segue.
I hadn't forgot.
I'm a professional seguer. Your fondness for Jamal, just the impact that he will leave on this program.
Yeah, he's come so far. He's kind of like Amari in the things that he's come a long way with. And you're right. It was a huge relief for him to get that touchdown again on last Saturday. The thing I found that's really interesting. You think when you're playing well and doing well that kids might think that they're better than everyone, or an ego gets into the way, or cockiness or whatnot. And it's one of those things with us where you got guys that understand the importance of what we're doing. Well, it's almost like they don't want to mess up. They want to be perfect on everything, right? Well, that's not who we are. We're not a team that's going to sit back and try to be perfect or try to, make a play every time. All right, do what your job is, all right, and let the plays come to you. And I'm excited to see Jamal play on Saturday night. I really am.
Oh, he's ripped off some long runs in his career at Bobby Dodd Stadium at Hyundai Field. He's got a few more left in him.
He does, and for what they do defensively, they're really good against the run. They're a dang good defense, and we're going to have some times we've got to win one-on-ones. We've got to make people miss in space, and that's his game.
Yeah, it's hard to tackle Jamal Haynes in a phone booth sometime. He'll be one of those seniors honored. He'll be out there with his mom, Annette, I'm sure. And for those of you who don't know, Jamal is a second-generation running back, but not on the side of the family tree you may think, because his mom, Annette, played 2 seasons for an 11-on-11 semi-pro tackle women's football team here in Atlanta, the Atlanta Explosion. And so Jamal, his very first year playing organized football when he was 5 years old, he wore number 34, not necessarily a running back's number, but he was a quarterback. He was a quarterback for that team, but he wore number 34 because that was the number his mom wore when she played for the Atlanta Explosion tackle football team when he was in kindergarten and 6 years old.
There's some good running backs that have worn 34.
Walter Payton, Earl Campbell, I know that. Annette Johnson.
None of them are from Birmingham.
Who's the one I'm missing from Birmingham?
I'll let you figure it out.
I know. I feel like it's that guy. Isn't he from Bessemer?
Thank you.
Yeah, not Birmingham. Bo Jackson's from Bessemer.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
McAdory High School is a Jefferson County school. So.
Would you prefer to be from Clay or Trussville? Because I've seen that both ways.
Well, I went to Trussville. I lived in Clay, but I actually lived in Huffman before that. So.
Okay. I think we like having you in Atlanta, though, and Georgia Tech. And Brent will be out there with those 26 seniors in a little more than 48 hours. Georgia Tech versus Pittsburgh. Time to hit our final timeout live at New Realm Brewing on the east side beltline of Atlanta. We'll take the break. You can listen to more of Haynes King's interview on SportsCenter during the commercial break, and we'll talk about the Pitt Panthers, the kind of challenges they'll present at 7 o'clock on Saturday. We'll be back to wrap things up with Brent Key after this on the Georgia Tech Sports Network.
Georgia Tech Sports Network.
Georgia Tech and Pittsburgh. We know you're excited. We are as well. And we'll get to business at 7 o'clock on Saturday night under the lights of the sold-out Bobby Dodd Stadium at Hyundai Field. Final segment of our penultimate Brent Key Coaches Show, driven by Hyundai. Alongside Brent Key, I'm Andy Demetra. And let's dive more, Coach, into this Pitt team. We talked about their offense, how explosive they can be. But Pat Narduzzi's teams have always been known for their salty, stingy defense. That's just unchanged through all the years when Deuce is there. What stands out about Pitt's defense? What makes them a tough unit?
Well, I think what you said. I mean, they've done the same, really played the same defense for the entire time he's been there. Is what they do. They don't change a lot. They're going to play your plays, whatnot, but it's basically 9 guys with a nose on the football playing run first, and the corners are on islands, and basically one-on-one for the majority of the time. Well, then everything appears the same. I know the last few weeks I've talked about they play multiple fronts and coverages and different things. Well, they're going to line up and be in the same spots pretty much every play, right? And everything they do out of that appears the same before the snap. Mm-hmm. All the different pressures, and they're very unique in the fact that they run it's a 6-man pressure package, and they play what we call an eyes coverage, hot coverage, eyes coverage in the back, where it's really only 5 guys covering, but they're playing zone, so it's like a 2 under 3 deep type coverage where they're keying the quarterback's eyes. And the whole premise behind it is that the pressure is going to get there because everybody's broke down into one-on-ones. The pressure is going to get there before you have a chance to pick it apart. So, we got to be really good in protection. Right, we've got to be spot on with what type of passing game we have. They're good. They get up the field. They're active. They're quick twitch, fast, and they're causing disruption. I think they've been in the top 10 in disruption up front in TFLs for the last ever how many years.
Yeah, and they're the top 10 nationally TFLs per game as well. So you need to have stout blocking up front. Your guards, I know you have an affinity for those offensive guards, and they'll both be honored on Senior Day. Joe Fusel, who actually started at guard for you in the matchup at Pittsburgh in 2022, and Keelan Rutledge. What have they done in their time together at Georgia Tech to stabilize and weaponize your offensive line?
Well, what is it now? I mean, I guess Red is in what? 13, 23, 24 starts here. And, you're talking 68 starts between them, 68, 69 starts between those two guys. When you have that much experience with two guys playing inside, and you got to be strong up the middle in everything we do. And, and they're catalysts for that. And when you play that much football, right, it just, with the offensive line, there's a comfort when those guys are out there. There really is.
Yeah, if you run behind Keelan Rutledge, you're going to get the yards you need. And Keelan was named ACC Offensive Lineman of the Week. Haynes King, like we noted earlier, ACC Quarterback of the Week. And Aiden Burr, ACC Place Kicker of the Week. He's had 6 made field goals in the last 2 games, including ho-hum, yet another last-second game winner against Boston College. Final minute of the program, less than that, Coach. Last time we get to do this at Bobby Dodd Stadium, a Hyundai Field this year. What message do you have for the fans, for the support they've given you all season, and the support that you want and expect from them on Saturday?
I can't thank them enough for what they've done already, but we have one last shot here at home. This has got to be the loudest, right? The most rambunctious. Is that the right word?
Yeah, rambunctious.
Yeah, rambunctious. All right, our fans for 3.5 hours have got to be on their feet, standing up, and be loud as hell, all right, and cause the other team to get false starts and miscommunication. All right, the 12th man is going to help us win the game.
There you go. You got your marching orders, and we'll see you at Bobby Dodd Stadium at Hyundai Field on Saturday. That wraps up this week's edition of the Brent Key Coaches Show. Stick around for the good word with Chris Moodyham, Justin Hanover in just a moment. He's Brent. I'm Andy. We'll talk to you next time on the Brent Key Coaches Show.
Renaissance Rewards Extra is the checking account that checks all the boxes.